So Carlo, uh, oh man, I'm gonna totally mess this up. How do you pronounce your last name, Carlo?
Bunyi.
Bunyi. I knew it.
Yep.
I knew I was gonna mess it up.
Thought it was
Carlo,
great.
Carlo Bunyi.
You
Yep.
lost your Filipino skills, Ruben. What is going on?
Uh, please introduce yourself.
Yes, thank you. Hi. Hello, mabuhay to everyone who's watching. My name is Carlo Bunyi. I am currently working as a music teacher here at South Boston Catholic Academy, but I am also an opera singer, classical singer. I also work as a cantor at several churches in Quincy. Yeah, I've been in Boston for 5 years now, doing the thing. I first came here as a student, and then now living the dream, both as a teacher and a performer.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. So part of your time is split being in, doing your own music, and part of it, your time is split between working as a teacher. Is that right, or how does that work?
Oh yes, I'm doing both. I'm very active in the performing scene. It's just that teaching pays my bills. but but yeah, I'm an active performer. I have several performances coming up, which I'll talk about later. But yeah, it's funny because I never thought I would be teaching music, because the dream for me was to be performing. But here we are, and it's a surprise that I never thought that I could teach, but yet here we are.
Yeah. I just honestly, I could probably just let you talk for the rest of the show, Carlo. I'm just amazed how deep and like how much like bass your voice has. That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, if you see my label, it's baritone. That's actually my voice type. So
I know. I mean, honestly, like we, well, this has nothing to do with Filipinos, but like James Earl Jones is probably the most famous baritone. But you
oh yeah.
sound. I feel like
Hmm.
you. I feel like you sound like. I feel like you're channeling him right now, James
Oh,
Earl.
thank you. Yeah, it's funny because I would always hear this at church because people don't see me when I'm singing. I'm singing way up in the balcony, and after the service, they would come see me and they're like, "Wait, were you the one singing?" And they're like, "Yeah, yeah," because I thought that they were picturing me as like a 6 foot Italian man or something, but but they get this like 5'5" short person who's like,
Hey, Filipinos, Mr. Pineda from Journey is my inspiration. So
"Oh yeah."
you know, that's it proves that we can do what anyone else can do. So
We should bring him to the show. Is there any way we can get a hold of him?
I'm sure Carlo knows him. It's
Oh,
in
I
his
wish.
So in terms of music, obviously, like you didn't realize that you wanted to teach, you were gonna teach, but you know, I just kind of like I feel like when I think of music and the music industry, I feel
Mhm.
like it's very much on parallel to what entrepreneurship is, right? Like you're someone who creates this amazing content and you're just sharing it with the world, hoping someone likes it and hoping it's monetized, right? And it's no different than what a lot of entrepreneurs do, right? Would you say?
I constantly have to put myself out there. Like tomorrow, I actually have auditions tomorrow for some for some opera companies that are out there. So
That's that's
yeah,
great.
all about making myself visible. That's the thing.
Yeah, yeah, and the other thing is too is that like I mean I always obviously I'm sure you're persistent, but I mean there's so many stories of musicians that
Hmm.
have been like nobodies for a long time, and all of a sudden now they're like like they've hit mainstream, right? So it's just amazing that like I said, I mean I just feel like there's so many parallels to music and entrepreneurship. So good for you, good for
Thank
you.
you.
Nikki, do you any questions for Carlo that you might want to just in his introduction that you want to
You know
mention?
what? I do agree with you, Ruben. I mean, the monotone. I can't even say that word, but the voice definitely. You got that deep voice. Maybe you should do like some kind of commercial.
Oh yeah,
For
I would do that.
coffee.
I would do that as a joke sometimes. Like be like a radio announcer. Like the time now is 4:58. Like.
do a great job.
So good.
I no, I mean, I love South Boston. I grew up in Massachusetts, and I think Ruben knows South Boston is it's changed over the years, but it's a pretty hip place. So I love that school that you're in. So it's a really nice environment you got there going. So good for you.
Thank
And
you.
kudos to teachers always. You guys have
Yeah.
a tough job. So
Yeah. Hey, so Carlo, I'm not sure if you answered it, but as far as like you getting into music, like what was the big why behind that?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, I started out as an artist. Like I used to draw a lot, but probably I just knew that I can carry a tune, and then I grew up listening to boy bands and everything, Westlife, NSYNC, Backstreet Boys. Those were my jam growing up, and I really didn't start into classical music until my undergrad. So technically, I was a late bloomer.
Hmm.
But since I've spent a good amount of time singing opera and classical music, that whenever I try to sing pop, it sounds weird because it's every time I sing pop, it sounds operatic. So I try to market myself in the classical music scene more.
Yeah.
would you feel confident showing us like a sample? Would you sing
Oh
for
yeah,
us?
sure.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Oh
Let's
yes.
let's see, just a quick one. Vana tu sole più bello in me, o sole mia, stan fronti a te, o sole mia, stan fronti a te, sta fronti a te.
Oh, no.
Dang. Let's go.
All
Thank
right.
you.
We're gonna, once we start doing our Filipinos in God karaoke, we're gonna make sure that we bring you.
Oh, would love to.
Okay. Okay. All right. So as I mentioned, if you have any questions that you have for Carlo or Irene, or maybe even Nikki and Daryl, please pop them into the live chat, and we'll be happy to make sure that they get answered. So let's just do this. There's a lot of questions that I think a lot of people would like to ask, but let me just prime the pump by asking. Obviously, as a performer and someone who's trying to make it, like, what's been the, the biggest obstacle for you?
Yeah, I would say there's a bunch as a performer. One is like getting myself out there. I got to do auditions here and there. Of course, earning as a performer. Um, yeah, sometimes you just gotta have to deal with politics as well. That's the sad thing about it. As a teacher, I want to make sure that I still keep my main instrument, which is my voice, because at my school I'm the only music teacher, and it's sometimes you just have to yell, and you just gotta take care of this. But yeah, what else? Also trying to find the balance between teaching and performing, especially when I'm in the midst of learning, let's say a role for an opera that I need to do. A few months ago, I did two roles back to back, and I had to learn all of that in the middle of the school year. So yeah, it would have been like extra tasking for me, and making sure that I wouldn't get sick. Yeah, singers can get sick as well.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, and to be honest, I'm still new to the teaching scene because I have been performing for 15 years now. Still am, but I'm still new to teaching. This is just my third year teaching, and I'm still learning the ropes. I don't have a huge arsenal with me with regards to teaching and classroom management, but I'm trying my best, and I'm thankful for. Actually, I'm gonna give them a shout out to the United Federation of Filipino American Educators, Unified, the Massachusetts chapter. They've been really a supportive group, and they made me feel that I'm not alone. We're all together in this struggle as teachers. So yeah, that makes things a little bit better. But yeah, it's for me. It's more physical than mental. The struggles, because yeah, I would teach Monday to Friday, and then I would have rehearsals during the evening, and then on the weekends I would work my church job, like concerts and everything. So I'm basically working 7 days a week,
Wow.
which I'm not complaining. It's part of the job, but it's
Mhm.
all for the love of music and
Off of the
spreading
road.
music.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You got to have a passion at what you do.
Hmm.
Because if you don't, it gets really tired really fast. Everybody. And I wanna put up there for everybody, for everyone. So, question is to Irene and Carlo, how do you ensure that your marketing strategies for your business are effectively implemented, and how do you measure their return on investment? Oh boy. Antoinette is like an MBA type of person, so this is an MBA type of question.
What am I guess for marketing? Yeah, just constantly putting myself out there. Yeah, auditions, recitals, concerts, whatever. I just tend to say yes to every performance opportunity that I get. And as for like outputs and everything, I let my work speak for me. And I guess that and in turn that's probably my return of investment. When people hear about my work, yeah, more opportunities come. Sometimes I get gigs through word of mouth, not even through online or any website or social media. So
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, that's great. Yeah, no. One thing I'll say is that I love live music. So
Mhm.
maybe you and Irene get together after the show and you talk about how you can do performances at her steakhouse.
Oh, definitely, we can do
Right.
that. Oh yeah, we'll have opera night at the steakhouse. So
I want to be there, by the way. Let me know. I will drive to Holyoke.
I think you're absolutely right. I think similar to cooking. I think at least for me, like when I do home cooking, it's instant gratification. I'll know right away whether anyone likes it, and it's like that. That's my return on an investment. You know what I mean? So I appreciate that. Because obviously, there's no direct question for Carlo in that regard. But I mean, Carlo, you gotta have to feel the same way because how many opera singers do you know that are Filipino?
Right.
You know what
that's right. Actually, as far as I know, I mean, we're spread out throughout the states, but here in Boston, as far as I know, there's only 3 or 4 of us.
Wow.
Do you
Yeah.
guys meet up at all? Just out of
Sorry.
curiosity, the four of you, do you guys meet up and just kind of talk
I
about your
mean, you know what?
experiences?
That hasn't happened yet, but it should happen. But my friend Lauren and I, we went to grad school together. We actually started a duo. We're called Duo Filipino, and our part of our advocacy is to spread Filipino classical music. So we're probably going to be putting on a show in January, and it's going to be a combination of kundiman, which is Filipino classical music, and opera together. So maybe watch out
Nice.
for that.
Wow.
Yeah, there's Filipino Heritage Month coming up in October, and that can be
Oh
an
yes,
opportunity for the four of you to come together, either do a
yeah.
fundraiser and collaborate with a local organization there, or
Hmm.
a nonprofit. More, and then you get more coverage and marketing opportunities.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, that brings up another thing that I think is smart for a lot of musical artists that you're seeing. Like a lot of musical artists make, they're good at one thing, they're known as one thing, and then they start doing another thing. You know what I mean? Like Post Malone. Now he's like big into country. You know what I mean? Like now he's like getting other country artists to do songs with, and now they're getting that promotion. So cross
Hmm.
promotion collaboration is always amazing. So that's
Yeah.
just a thought, just a thought for everyone who's even here. One of the last questions that I want to ask before we run out of time is, you know, what kind of advice would you give to anyone who might be thinking to themselves, "Hey, I want to start something. Hey, I have an idea. I want to do this. I want to do that." What kind of advice would you give to that person who you might be able to inspire right now? Carlo, I'll let you go first on that.
Yeah. So yeah, for someone like me who's into music, who's in the field of music, if you're a performer or a student of music, just keep doing your thing, keep practicing, keep singing, keep playing. Um, Collaborate with your friends, make good relationships with your teachers, and also make I would say build a community. You can find a community within the Filipino community. You can perform for them. So there's that, and yeah, And
Yeah,
oh
no, that's good. No, I
yeah.
we appreciate it, Carlo. We're going to move into one last portion to allow you guys to promote yourselves and what you're up to. Carlo, I know you had a lot of events that you wanted to promote, so we're going to give you the opportunity to do that. So um, please let us know what you got coming up.
Oh yeah, awesome. Well, first of all, please follow me on my social media handles on Facebook.com/ Carlo Bunyi Baritone, and on Instagram it's at Basso Baritono, BASSO BARITONO. So I have a few shows coming up. On Sunday, this September 15th, there's this Feast of San Lorenzo Ruiz, first Filipino saint at the Sacred Heart Church, 10 o'clock. I will be singing that Mass. September 28th, 3 o'clock. Opera on Tap Boston is presenting a show called Flowers and Opera. We'll be singing there as well. It's going to be in Brookline, Massachusetts. Brookline, Coolidge Corner. October 6th, Filipino American Festival in Harvard Square. Me and my friend Lauren will be coming in as Duo Filipino, performing some kundiman, Filipino classical music. October 12th, the Philippine Nurses Association of New England is having their anniversary and induction of officers. We'll be singing there. And on December 21st, 7:30, and December 22nd, 2 o'clock, Opera 51 in Concord, Massachusetts will be staging a concert version of the opera Don Giovanni by Mozart. And that's what I have so far.
I think you already know. I mean, I've been dealing with live broadcasts and producing content for just business owners in general. But I think, as I mentioned earlier when we were speaking, it's a lot better when you're more personally, committed and you have way more at stake and talking to your own people, right? Because at the end of the day, like you could say whatever you want to say to the general public, they don't quite understand you as much as someone who shares your culture, shares your traditions, shares your habits. Can get the nuance of like having a fork and spoon in a dining room, and what that even means. A wooden fork and spoon, you know what I mean? Or
You with a hand, by the way. Is that the Filipino way?
or eat with your hands, kamayan, right? But I mean, it's just no, it's just great, and that's the reason why Filipinos didn't exist, because I think the slice of just having a conversation with entrepreneurs is too big. Not that many shows that where you can actually engage with other Filipino Americans who kind of know the plight of what you and your family have been through, you know what I mean, to get to where you are. So that's why we're here. That's what Filipinos in is about. I just want to remind everybody that this is Filipino Filipino Freedom Friday live. We're gonna be back again next week. We don't know I have no clue exactly as to who's gonna be on the show next week as Filipinos in to grow outside of Massachusetts, where this essentially was birthed, to essentially getting into California, getting into Texas, getting into other states, because this message really rings true regardless of where you are. Right? I mean, the places and the businesses might change, or whatever, the cities might change, but at the end of the day, this common message of just being able to persist, keep going, just like what Irene and Carlos said, it's just keep singing, keep doing what you do, and
Right.
you're gonna make it. So, salamat, maraming salamat. I'm going to say thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Daryl, for being here. It wouldn't be a show, it wouldn't be live community networking without you guys, and you guys have certainly made it enjoyable. We're going to sign off, but until next week, please definitely join us next week. We're going to have I'm certainly another batch of entrepreneurs who are helping us host, but also helping us introduce themselves as featured guests. So hopefully you join us next week. I'm Ruben Austria of Lifeline. We got Nikki Lopez of ISA Health Solutions, and Daryl D.
Isa, Ruben, Isa.
All right. Make it a great day, everyone. Take care.
Thank you.
Filipino, 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 Filipino.